Hey, who we got there?
It's me, DJ.
Oh, hi, Donald.
Texting.
Okay. I didn't. You know what? I've just been looking at your profile. I should have recognized you at least from that. You know, I'm just waiting for Mike, who I'm organising this for, is supposed to be on here. But that's okay. We're going to start this in a second. Just right now, I'm just back to back non-stop, and I thought I'm hungry. So I just went in the corner of the block, got some fruit, eating a banana. Like, okay, I've got to eat something else. I got a tangerine, and the thing just exploded all over the place. So just when I'm going to start, I've got to start mopping. I had to mop the floor, change my pants to just anyway. So what we're going to do when the others join us, I think, they're on the right time. We're going to do a launch here for Mike, wherever he is, and a launch involves a lot of stuff really. And I've done I've not really done the launches before to the same degree. So I'm just more people are watching as we're talking here. So what we're going to talk about today, and I know, Donald, you've been with us a little while and you're still trying to find your feet, so we're going to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about a bunch of stuff here. This is labeled 100,000 income from August to Christmas, literally from zero. So how is that possible? Well, it starts, I'm just going to pull this a bit closer actually. It starts, my thing doesn't stop here. It starts from within, from a mindset. Because if we believe that is not possible, we're never going to do it. Simple as that. And I told this story a few times. A few years ago, my background is all over the place, but in my early 20s I went to Canada. And I was starving. Someone had told me I would be here, there, and everywhere around Europe. And an ex-business partner from the UK, who wasn't a real good business partner, actually said, you know, come to Canada. The streets are paved with gold. Blah 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 blah. The streets I walked on weren't. They were paved with crap. Oh, Mike's here. Nice. That Mike's. Is that your picture? Or are you actually outside? Ah, okay, there's Mike. Your picture was outside in the sun. Can you hear me okay, Mike?
Yeah, you mean?
Yeah. Have you got something on in the background there? All right. I'm just gonna mute you. Just for a minute. If I know. Oh, can you mute yourself? There's somebody making a noise in the background. That's it. Got it. Hang on. What have you done? You've gone. Anyhow, Mike will be back on. There's a bunch of people watching this. I went to Canada. My skill set back then was not conducive to making any money. That's for sure. And you know, I really didn't know what I was doing. So my first job, we'll call it a job, was selling soft-sided luggage door to door. So you know, I just literally went there with $20, and I got a newspaper and called some ads, and I stayed with my friend. I went for 3 interviews, got 3 jobs. So I went to selling some soft-sided luggage, gym bags, holdalls, that type of thing, door-to-door, business-to-business. And I was fairly useless at it. My first day of training was to go out with this big Texas guy called Jack, just remember. And I watched him, and you know, I watched him, but I really didn't have much confidence. And one of the things I remember everyone saying in the training was, get the product in the people's hands. So it was, we've got these bags, we just finished the show down the road, and there's 60% off, here, take a look, and you put it in the hands. So there's 2 things here. Number one, the next day I went out, and I'm carrying all these bags. I didn't have a vehicle, I'm carrying all these bags, and the day's getting longer and longer and longer, and it's about 4:30, and I knew whatever I sold, the profit was mine, and so it was cash, and I was starving. But I still didn't have the confidence to actually put the bags in anyone's hand. So even though I've been shown exactly what to do, I still didn't have the confidence to do it. So about 4:30, I walked down this road in Toronto called the Queensway, I seem to recall. I looked back, and I'd walked, 2 miles. It was a dead straight road. I probably walked 2 miles. my motivation wasn't getting fed. I thought, I've got to get back there by 6 o'clock with the bags. I've got no money for bus fare, and I've got no money for bus fare, so I've got you, Mike, you're in. I've got no money for bus fare, and my motivation was I just had to get back there somehow. But at some point, something just snapped. I'm walking, the bags are getting heavier, my shoulders are drooping, and I'm walking into stores saying, I don't suppose you'd be interested in these either, would you? And they go, no, I'm not. And at some point, something just snapped. If you'd have been driving down the Queensway at a certain point, and I'm going back here 20, 30 years close to, you would have seen a grown man get a bunch of bags, throw them against a wall, start jumping all over them, kick the crap out of them all over the sidewalk, have a breakdown with these bags, and then stop and go, crap, if I damage them, I'm not going to be able to sell them, but I've got to take them back and pay for them. I walked in the next door. I was so annoyed. I've got to be careful about swearing on these things. I was so pissed. I just got the bags and threw them at this woman. Here, we just finished the thing down the road, 60% off. Here, take a look. And there was about maybe 12 bags. And she said, I can't take all these. I'll just take half of them. It doesn't matter. I've got to get rid of them. Okay, I'll take half. I just went, what? What? Keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. I felt like saying, are you sure you want to take them? But the point here is, I've been shown exactly what to do. Just get the bags in the hand. It's like the Apple Store. You go to the Apple Store, they let you play all day long on the computers and on the phones and on the pads. Why? Because you get it into your hand, and once it's in your hand, there's a higher chance that you will make a purchase at the Apple Store. It's like stroking a puppy. You don't want to let it go. I don't know what's going on with my camera here, but it'll come back. So I did that. The next store, when I've got half the bags, I just did exactly the same thing. Threw it at the guy. Said, listen, you've got to get rid of these. Your neighbours just took the half of the last ones. Just take these. He went, okay. So what I did was, I had an hour to kill. I remember, I used to eat crap back then. I remember going to McDonald's and ordering 6 Big Macs and eating them all because I was starving and I had some cash, and part of that cash belonged to me. Then I got the bus back. But what I also found is a reality. I kept asking, where's this show we've just finished at 60% off? And it turned out that was BS. And because of that, because it was BS, I lost my confidence to do it. I lost my belief more than my confidence. So moving on from there, I went knocking on doors selling water filters. Again, couldn't figure it out for 3 weeks. It's still a record in that business. It was the record. The guy that just wouldn't go away, the guy that wouldn't go home, he just kept going and going and going, and that was me. So I'm not always a fast learner. However, what I do now is I just copy people. So when someone does something better than me, I just copy them. Simple stuff. So I did that, I got good at that, and then what I found by accident, selling water filters, is one day my manager, Big Jimmy, never came in. And these were expensive things, so you'd knock on someone's door and walk out with a check for $1,000 an hour, 2 hours later. They weren't these cheap and easy things, they were real high-end stuff. A random stranger, $1,000 2 hours later. It's not an easy thing until you master it. What I did, though, when my manager didn't show up one day, Tim, who owned the company, said, you've got to take the guys out today. And I said, I can't do that. I don't know what to do. He said, well, just do what Big Jimmy does. I said, Big Jimmy doesn't do anything. He just drops us off. He said, okay, just do that and maybe a bit more. He said, I don't know, just take it. And I kept refusing. Then he said, you can take my Cadillac. And he had a brand new white Cadillac Eldorado Baritz, white leather. And at the time, you know, I'm in my early 20s, it might as well have been a Lamborghini. I said, I can take the Caddy. When do you need it back? Oh, just bring it back to work tomorrow. I was like, yes. Yes! I get the Caddy, man. I get the Caddy. So I get these guys going to work with me. And I remember the one thing that I wanted more than anything when I started that business was to watch someone do it. Not in a classroom situation, but in a reality situation. So with a reality situation, there was a guy that was hurting a bit. And I said, you know, just come and watch me. I actually did it because I wanted the company. Come and watch me. We'll go hang out. We'll have some fun. We'll get fed. I said, how do we get fed? I said, I get fed in every house. And it's the same with this particular business. It's just good stuff keeps happening. And I go and do a few things. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 clients back to back. It's supposed to take an hour and a half. I do it in 20 minutes. So, and he said, I don't understand what you did. And what I learned when I first started selling water filters was I was trying to sell something. I wasn't trying to make friends with anyone. I wasn't trying to connect with anyone. And I was in a house. I had my manager watch me. My manager was a guy called Pat Murphy from Cork Island. So I'm in Toronto, Canada. I'd flown there from Manchester, England, where Mike is right now. I'm in front of a couple there from Liverpool, England. How far is Liverpool from Manchester, Mike?
About an hour.
An hour? What? Were you walking it? You want to get a new car, man? Seriously, Mike? You want to get what, you in a big wagon?
I say an hour. It's too. I don't ever go there, so.
Oh, I don't blame you. Actually, I shouldn't say that. So just edit that bit out. I mean, I've done it on a motorcycle in 20 minutes, but that's me in motorcycles. But yeah, half an hour, 40 minutes, it's nothing. Maybe 30 miles, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in Toronto, 3,500 miles away from Manchester. I'm in front of a couple, and they are from Liverpool. So we're all on the other side of the world, and the guy that's watching me is from Ireland. I go through his presentation trying to sell this water filter, and nothing. Oh, we'll think about it. I said, come out of the house, say to Pat, I get this all the time, Pat. Was this a great presentation? He said, Tony, the presentation was fantastic. I said, so what's going on? He said, you'd think if you met someone from down the road and you're both on the other side of the world, you'd have something to talk about apart from the water filter. I said, what? I don't get this. He said, he never tried to make friends. And I said, well, Pat, I'm too busy to make friends. I'm trying to make money. He said, you won't make money unless you make friends. And I couldn't grasp it because it wasn't something I was a natural at. So all these things we're going to discuss today are all just skill sets. They're not talents. Believe me, I'm not very talented. I know a lot of skill sets because I learnt them. You know, if you stick a musical instrument in front of me, I wouldn't even know which end to use. I mean, I need to learn it. So I watched this, and he gave me an exercise to do to create rapport, and I didn't even know what rapport was. I was a quiet kid at school. I had no idea. So rapport was maximize your similarities, minimize your differences, and Pat gave me an exercise to do. And he explained a little bit what he meant by that. So similarities. If I meet someone now and from England, I'm from England. If I meet someone from Scotland, I'll be from Britain. If I meet someone from Italy, I'll be from Europe. If you've got a son and someone you meet's got a daughter, you've got children. Differences would be boy and girl. You understand what I mean? Just nod your head. Yes, Tony. Okay. So that's what rapport is. Minimize your differences. Stay away from things like politics, religion, you know, certain sports. They're differences and they're not going to work. I've just done a hangout there on social media training, and that's one of the things. Anything that's different is going to go against you. Anything that's similar is going to go for you, and you maximize it. Not in a manipulative way, but you just maximize it. We create rapport. So when I mastered this, I went into a house. It was supposed to take an hour and a half to sell a water filter. I went into a house. I worked in this Italian area in north of Toronto called Woodbridge, Ontario. Or if you lived there, you called it Woodabridge with the accent, with a calibre accent. And what I'd done there, what I found out is a great deal of the Italians lived there were involved in the construction industry. They all had pickup trucks. And if I look back through, you know, hundreds and hundreds of clients, the most common name pairing was Giuseppe or Joe with a wife named Maria. It was just quite common. So I drive to the area, the wealthiest area of Woodbridge. I drive there. The guy I'm with thinks I'm nuts because you know, looking at these mansions. What are you, insane? You know, they got like, you know, high-end cars there. I said, listen, you can all afford what we've got. And at the time, that by then, we were selling a system for the whole house. It was about $3,000. And I said, listen, they're not going to tell me they can't afford it. Even if they can't afford it, they're not going to shame themselves into that. So we go to this door. This guy's name was Mike. And knock on the door. I remember the house. Where is it? I think it was called Baldwin Boulevard. Baldwin Boulevard, Woodbridge, Ontario. I remember the house. Knock on the door, and this guy, I'm not interested. Well, Joe sent me. Which Joe? You know, the Maria's husband. You know, the guy, I think he's an electrician or something. He's got a pickup truck down the road there. Oh, no, he's a plumber. The guy says to me, oh, Joe the plumber. I said, yeah, that's him. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Joe's got one. Really? Yeah. You know, I wasn't lying because there was something in my list of clients. There was at least 20 or 30 or maybe 50 Joe and Marias in there. So if he said, where's Joe's piece of paper? It might be the wrong Joe, but if he sees 50 of his neighbors have done something, all of a sudden, there must be some credibility to it. So I walk in the house, I start talking with him about European football, something else, something else, something else. I don't do any presentation at all. I don't do anything at all. I do a little thing on his taste the difference in the water. You know, I'm supposed to go into this whole explanation about the Great Lakes and the ecosystem and the pollutants and 187 different chemicals in the water and how many are carcinogenic and blah, 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 blah. And I didn't. I just went right through a thing. I said, can you taste the difference? Oh, yeah, I can taste it. Okay, let's see if it'll fit. Now, I went downstairs to the basement. Yeah, it fits right here. How much are they? I said, well, normally $4,000. And I, you know, maybe I shouldn't say this on videos, but I know the Italians up there used to like paying cash, and so you pay cash, you get a discount, 25. And he went, okay, just give me 10% down, we'll get it installed within the week. You know, oh, sure, yeah, sounds like a good idea. I've got kids in the house, makes sense. I go next door. This guy, Frank, opens the door. Not interested, not interested, not interested. Well, Joe Maria sent me to your neighbor Mike, and he wasn't interested either, but we're installing his next week. Do you want to see what Mike's getting? I go in the house, I don't talk about products, I don't talk about service, I don't do any of that stuff, anything. I just make friends with this guy. Then the next guy, same thing. Then the fourth guy, his name was David, I won't use his last, I still remember his name. And I went to his house, and he went, yeah. Then he said, right, get in my car, I'm going to introduce you to everyone around the neighborhood. And we go past the house, he said, this guy is another David, and he owns a construction company. And this guy's this, and he's the richest guy on the block, and So I had the heads up. And it was all just about creating rapport, becoming friends with people, and creating rapport, becoming friends with people, and when they like you, when people like you, they just find a reason to do business with you. If they don't like you, they never will. So I had to do this thing to get to that point. So Pat's test was write down 50 questions to create rapport. So you're looking at me here with a screen with nothing behind me apart from some clothes. Okay? So when my neighbours is having a party, I think. In terms of looking at creating rapport, someone could just say to me, what are you using? Are you using a Mac or are you using a PC? Where do you get your shirts from? Okay. Are they all blue or just wearing a pink one for a reason? Anything, just questions to create rapport, 50 questions. And I'm going to give both you guys this as an exercise today. 50 questions. Mike, you may have already done this in one of the other businesses, but 50 questions to create rapport. So I did that. I showed this guy. This guy said, well, in the office, they showed, you know, they said it's an hour-and-a-half presentation. I said, okay. So the office, they said that, and that's correct. However, I work slightly different than the office. I tried it that way. It was taking me too long. I found a much easier way to do business. I just make friends with people. And you know what? Some will and some won't, and so what? Next. It's not an emotional thing. I don't get upset if someone doesn't do business with me. It doesn't matter. Okay? The things we've got going on now, there's a billion clients out there. It makes no difference if one says no. So, my Facebook's going nuts here. So that's what happened. I get better at that. But I had a mental block. And my mental block is, or was, $1,000 a week. And the reason for that, my mentor was a guy called Pearson McDonald. I had two mentors, Tim Mulcahy, Pearson McDonald. And Pearson was a wonderful speaker. He's actually the guy that got me public speaking first. He showed up in the office one day with shades on. He lifted him up, all his eyes were red. He'd lost his voice and said, You got to do the meeting for the guys today. You got to do the meeting for the guys today. I said, yeah, are you nuts? Standing in front of people on the stage and do a meeting? What are you insane? I'm not doing that. Pearson was kind of a big guy, like a NFL type player. So instead of asking me again, he picked me up and threw me in front of these people and walked off. So I'm stood in front of 40 of my peers, not knowing what to talk about. So Pearson taught me the hard way how to speak in public. I've only been doing these hangouts for a week. Last week, Mike asked Darren Little, who's a great guy to follow on Facebook. Mike asked Darren Little. Tony said, I need to organise a launch event, and Darren said, tell Tony to do it himself. So dropped in at the deep end again. I didn't even know how to work hangouts till last week. So, incidentally, on a sidebar,
I sent everyone the watch event rather than the live event.
Yeah, I can see that. There's a whole bunch of people watching. Can we get them on, Mike?
I don't know. I'm just going to try and do something now. If I put a link, that come up at the side.
You're asking the wrong guy with technology. I'll let you play around with it.
If people can see that link that's come up down the side.
Oh, where it says chat, one new message?
Yeah. If click that, I think that'll bring them on the live.
I'm not clicking on anything, because I'll shut the whole thing down if I start messing about. Or yeah, other things on my screen might start coming up, and those really are not for public hangouts, man. So I learned to speak by getting on stage, and here's something for you, and it stems back to report. When I was stood on stage, I froze, and I was fumbling my hands and doing all this, and said, guys, I don't know what to talk about. And someone just said, tell us your story. Oh, that's easy. And within 5 minutes, I got my confidence, because it just started. Had I not been thrown on that stage that day, I wouldn't be on this thing right now, right here, and still be sat in the corner like shivering. So, going back out with these guys, I did, you know, a huge amount of business in a day. I used to do this every single day, and we just had fun. We had a team of guys that we had fun. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if some of them are on it now. Right, Mike, how's this working, Mike, with his chat things? I'm getting just flashing up new messages and things. Are you controlling it at that end?
I can put the chat up, but I don't know if people who are watching, if they can see the chat.
Right, can you send your people the other link, the what I call the VIP link, the one that we're all on?
It'll take me a while.
Well, just copy and paste the link.
It's all on my phone, so I'll do it on my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, carry on, and I'll do that then.
Thanks, man. Thanks. So I'm training these guys, and the next day someone else wanted to watch me, and the guy that I'd trained had a breakthrough. He'd been at it for a week and got nothing. Had a breakthrough straight away. So I know, Don, you were asking me for help earlier on, and I'm happy to help. Okay, I'm here to help. So this guy had a breakthrough straight away. The next day someone else wanted to watch me. The next day someone else wanted to watch me. I was just out there having fun, having a blast, getting fed in every house. You know, I don't know what it was. I was like 200 pounds when I worked in this area, because one thing I know about the Italian community of Woodbridge is they're super friendly, and they've always got food on the go. And I was told, if you ever get offered food or wine, take it, otherwise it's an insult. And I thought, yeah, I love my job. Even when I wasn't making money, I was getting well fed. And so just like every pasta, everything. So this guy's watching me going, they're even feeding us. Yeah, everyone feeds you. Everyone, why wouldn't they? You're like, all of a sudden you become like family. What Pearson never told me is Italians make their own wine, and it's not like the stuff you buy in the store, and they don't drink out of wine glasses. They drink out of tumblers. So once you've done about 3 or 4 water filters, you basically can't speak anymore. I've seen guys carried out of houses. Some of my guys that were with me, Mike, we're waiting outside. It's like 10, 11 o'clock at night. This old Italian guy, construction worker, comes out with Mike in his arms. And Mike's waving a piece of paper around going, I've got the deal, I've got the deal. And his construction guy says, who are you? I said, yeah, he's with us. Okay, he's not driving. I said, yeah, throw him in the back. We knew exactly what it was, because when people like you, when we have that rapport, when we have that connection with people, and we go through life like this, where sometimes in life you meet someone and you kind of like locking horns all the time, and you don't like them, and you don't know what it is, but we don't like them, and it's a vibrational energy. It's not matching. You ever met anyone in your life that you don't like?
Oh yeah.
It might be me. I don't know. But it doesn't match. But on the other side of that, sometimes you meet people in your life, and you just mesh straight away. You've got the same vibrational energy, and all of a sudden you just mesh, and you feel like you've known them your whole life. And even if you don't talk for 10 years, the minute you talk, it's as though it was yesterday. So we create this rapport, and we create this, you know, this vibration we give off, and it's not anything we're actually doing deliberately. That exercise is to trigger your brain how to think creatively to create questions. When we create questions, we find out more about the people we deal with. We find out more about the people we deal with, and we listen. So consequently, every time someone tells me something, it kind of goes in there. And I might use it. It's like a shelf. I might use it on another day. Yesterday, I was in downtown in a restaurant there, and these women came in, and I said, where are you guys from? Italy. I said, yeah, I know Italy. I said, you Sicilian or you Calabrese? They said, how do you know? I said, because I can tell. They said, Sicilian. Palermo? Yeah, Palermo. How do you know? I don't know. But I remember what the capital of the country is, and I remember the different districts and things like this. And it's only because working with this Italian community for so long, I picked up little things, so I kind of store it there, and it's there to be used whenever I want. And it's not a probing question. It's just a way of opening up lines of communication. And it's nothing more than that. That's all we're doing is communicating with people. So from there, I had this mental block at $1,000 a week. And I'm driving around these houses, these mansions, and I'm thinking, how on earth are they paying for that $1,000 a week? I don't understand it. And it was a block, and it came from the wall in the office, because we had something called a wall of fame. If you had a paycheck over $1,000, you go on the wall of fame, and that was always I didn't realize I didn't believe in the science of goal setting back then, but kept seeing that and my name not on it, subconsciously drove me more and more and more, because I just wanted like my name up in lights on Broadway. Well, I don't particularly want that, but I wanted my name on the wall. Reward, recognition. Recognition drives us harder than reward ever does. So I got this, but I was also subconsciously programmed to think that's all anyone could ever earn. And and I was in my early 20s, and I thought it was all the money in the world, 50, 60K a year, and I had a good life on it. So it really, driving Corvettes and BMWs, most of which were financed, most of which I smashed up, driving around Toronto too fast. And, and I had that block. And then all of a sudden, Tim said to me, we opened an office in Montreal 2 months ago. It's not doing so well. You're from Europe, so you speak French, don't you? And, oui. Okay, you can run Montreal. Ah, bonjour. Oh, merci. I'm getting it wrong myself now. But I knew about 2 or 3 words of French. I basically faked my way into the job. I went to Montreal not speaking the language, faked it. There was 2 things with that. My ego went huge because I've been given... Whereabouts do you live, Don?
I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Mississippi. So to put this in perspective, Quebec is about 3 times the size of Texas. It's a huge place. Less people, but it's a huge place. So I've got this whole territory, and I'm in my early 20s, and I'm now making about $100,000 a year, thinking I'm the richest, the king of Babylon or something. And my ego went huge, but I was spending the money quicker than I could earn it. And what that's down to is I didn't, again, feel worthy of that money. I knew I'd fake my way into the job, and I was doing okay at it. But, I didn't feel the worthiness of what I was doing. I had no issue at all with my belief in water filters. To this day, I don't drink tap water, to this day. So I got that. Then it all came crashing down. Then I had to move back to the UK, call my dad from the airport. Hi, Dad, can I move in the spare bedroom? And when I got there, I borrowed 100 off him. And he said, hang on, I thought you were running Quebec and and you had a Mercedes and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I did, yeah. What happened? No, I don't know. Tell me what happened. Well, where's all your money? The money thing. Well, I can, I've dated some really hot women, and I can tell you loads of stories about bartenders, and I know what good food tastes like, and I've got some great clothes. Where's your money? That's basically it. That's basically where the money is. So, here's James. James is here. James, can you hear me?
Hey, Tony.
How are you, man?
Yeah, I can, mate.
It's been years.
I'm alright. It just took me half an hour to figure out technology.
Oh, welcome to my world. I've not got a clue. James, out of the 2 of us, James, only one of us is age. Guess which one?
You.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I shouldn't have said that. So I'm just. I know you've been listening. So I'm just. We're talking. I'm kind of opening up here, not unburdening, but I'm opening up. So the guys watching know where I'm coming from. So I went there, I had to move back to Manchester,
problem.
start all over again, and basically I had to go somewhere entry level. It was selling ad space for the post office or something. Went there at entry level. I took a massive dose of humility, but I still had the ego. So I've got a manager who I thought was an absolute moron, and he was doing everything wrong. And in my mind was, listen, I was the manager of Quebec. There's like 3 guys in your team here. You have no idea who I am. Blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, this is how we do it. Then I went to the owner of the company. I told him he was a moron. Guess what happened next? Okay, I had to find a new job very quick. And we learn these things, and we learn to let go of our ego as we get on. And then a few years later, I called my ex-boss in Canada, and this is what I'm getting to here, this $100,000 between August and Christmas. It starts with mindset. So I called my ex-boss, Tim, just to talk. And he said, Tone, I'm glad, and both James and Mike have both met Tim. Very infectious guy. So he said, Tone, I'm glad you called. I've been trying to find you. What is it? We've just opened a new business. Now, at this time, I'm still mid-20s. I've got an apartment. I've got a car. I've got a TV. I was going to say a DVD, probably a video recorder. I've got some clothes. I think I'm doing okay. And he called, and he said, listen, we're running this new business. The long-distance industry had just started up. I didn't even know what he meant by long distance, even though I was actually calling him long distance. And he's talking about this, that, and the other. Then he says, listen, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to team you up. I'm going to team you up with Greenie, with your old buddy Greenie, who might actually be watching this now. That's funny enough. And you and Greenie, what's going to happen is you're going to open an office, and you do 2,000 deals a week, and you get $10,000 each. And I went, what? Yeah, you and Greenie, $10,000 each, 2,000 deals a week. Now, selling water filters, the whole office maybe only did 100 or 200 clients a week. Not did clients, but got 100, 200 new clients a week. And he's talking about numbers like 2,000. I said, Tim, who does 2,000 clients? Who gets 2,000 clients a week? I don't care what it is. He said, well, we've got 2 offices, Toronto, Montreal. They both do over 2,000 new clients. They both get more than 2,000 new clients every single week. They've been running about 8 weeks. I went, oh, okay. But the fact that he told me $10,000 a week, I couldn't get my head around. I'd never earned more than a couple of thousand, maybe 100,000 a year at that point. I couldn't get my head around it. So this stems to the title of this, $100,000 from August to Christmas. Now, I know that puts some people off because they go on the disbelief channel. However, I'm not bothered about those people because I want to work with the people that are going to earn 6 figures between now and Christmas. Okay? Because it's the same amount of time for me to help people, so I may as well help the people that it's going to change their lives dramatically. So I said to Tim, well, yeah, I've got the house, I've got, basically I'm talking my way out of it because I didn't believe him. He said, Tone, we need you here. We need you here. We need you here. I said, Tim, I haven't got the money for the flights, and I've got all this stuff here. He said, well, get rid of the stuff. You won't need it again. I said, it's an apartment. It's a car. It's like, he said, just pack 2 bags with some clothes. That's all you'll need. I said, Tim, I can't afford to do that. He said, no, Tone, you don't understand. You've got to get over here. You've got to go over here. I said, okay, convince me. I said, right, I'll be there in 2 weeks. 2 weeks? No, 2 weeks too late. I need you here tomorrow. I said, I can't be there tomorrow. He said, how long will it take to get rid of everything? I said, about 2 weeks. He said, well, what if you sold it at 10 cents on the dollar? I said, well, why would I do that? He said, no, just answer the question. What if you sold it at 10 cents on the dollar? I said, 2 days, probably. He said, right, give me your bank details now. I'm going to send you some money. And I went, oh, you know what? I always give my bank details to anyone who wants to send me some money. Unless it's a retired general from somewhere in Africa, then I'm a little bit hesitant on those ones. But I don't know how much trouble I'm going to get in for this one. Anyway, so he puts, I can't remember what it was, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in my bank, which at the time was a lot of money. I literally dump everything I did. My motivation was I just wanted to change. So with this industry and this thing we're launching right now with Mike, we look for 2 types of people to help do a launch. Those who are in transition, i.e. people wanting a change. And I know for Mike specifically, when we chatted, that was his situation. Sometimes it's people that are at breaking point. Literally desperation, They've lost the job, or they've got divorced, or they've got dumped, or I don't know, just breaking point or transition. So those are the people we look for, and then see if there's a fit, because there isn't always a fit. But if there's a fit, this is why I do what I do now with Mike, and this is what I've been doing literally every day for the last 2 months. I've just started doing these hangouts, but I've been connecting with people, and we're helping guys build teams. So when I went back to Canada, 2 things happened. Number one, when I left Tim the first time, he had what I thought was a nice car, was a triple white Cadillac Eldorado Barritz. My goals had moved up from Cadillacs by this time, but Tim picked me up in a new top-of-the-range 7 Series black BMW at the airport, and I thought, oh, this guy's doing okay. You know, he sent me a few $1,000s. He's serious. He's doing okay. When I left him, he had a townhouse in Richmond Hill. Nice little home. When I left, that was a great place. I come back, he's got this 5,000 square foot mansion, 3-car garage, opens the garage door. I see the brand new black Porsche 928, which, by the way, I posted a picture of this morning because I went, oh, I'm having one of those. 90 days, I got one of those. And at that point, I thought, wow, this guy's really doing it. I thought he was doing it before, but he's really doing it. And then the perception started to become the reality. So I go in the office, first day I go through a bit of training with Tim's brother who's doing the classroom. He was running the Toronto office. A bit of training. I get told off for wearing a suit. So what have you shown up in a suit for? I thought this is business. That's not how we do business. No one who wears suits to do business. And he said, go and get some shorts and some hiking boots, and you know, here's a company T-shirt. Come back when you dress properly. You're not sitting in my training class with a suit on. Oh, okay, that suits me. So I go through the training, which I didn't understand. Not got a clue. Long distance. I didn't even know the name of the phone company. I didn't know the phone company was called Bell Canada, and I'm in the business. No clue whatsoever. So when clients would tell me I'm with Bell, I'd go, who? And they'd look at me like I was a complete idiot. So I went through training. Then I went out and watched one of the team leaders there, a guy called Arnold, still remember his last name, who wasn't very inspirational, who wasn't very motivated, who, nice enough guy, but he just didn't have it. He didn't have whatever that it is. He just didn't have it. So the next day I go back to Tim. I said, Tim, you know, I was bored last night because, you know, me and Arnold, even though we get on, I need higher level stuff. I need higher level stuff. Who's the best guy you've got? He said, well, he's busy. I said, I don't care. Listen, you flown me over here. Don't stick me with a guy that's number 2 or number 3 or number 10. I want to work with the best guy. I want to work with him for a night, and I'll just copy it. And it's the same with this industry and this business now that what we're doing with Mike. You don't have to be the guy that knows everything. You just have to know a guy. And if I'm not that guy, Darren's that guy. And if Darren's not that guy, Tom's that guy, or Jeffrey's that guy. So we don't have to learn how to, you know, recreate the wheel here. So Tim says, well, the best guy I've got is Dr. Ed. Dr. Ed was a Polish guy, and I can't remember his last name. I didn't know it back then. I can't remember it now. So I go and watch Dr. Ed. He's running between these houses, just one after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, just filling out bits of paper. I haven't got a clue what he's talking about. I can't understand him. I can't keep up with his speech. I called Tim that night and said, does this guy get many complaints? And Tim says, never had one yet. I said, do these people even know what they're doing? He said, Tom, it's 20, whatever, I think it was 25% off their phone bill, and we give them $30 worth of free calls. Do they know what we're doing? It's simple. They get the piece of paper and they just do it. I mean, okay. And they're not paying for this? No. All right, it's a no-brainer. So I go out the next day on my own. I just pick anywhere. I think actually I might have had someone with me. I go out, and all day long I slog it out. Now, the guys that were doing well would get maybe 10, 15 customers a day. On my first day, I did about 7 or 8 hours of no, 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 not interested, no, not interested, no, 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 not interested, not interested, not interested, not interested. What is it? No, 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 no. But I could feel a shift going on. So it stopped becoming all no's. I was getting some not interesteds. And then I was getting, well, what exactly is it? So I was learning it step by step. And on this, about 7 hours, I got my first client in long distance. And I did maybe another hour. I didn't get any more. Called Tim at night, and I said, He said, how'd you go on? I said, yeah, great, I got one. One? One's no good. I go, what? I got one. I went out to get one, I got one. You should be doing 10. A guy with your experience, I've given you $5,000, I've stuck you in a hotel, paid your flights, and you tell me you've got one. I said, yeah, I've got one. That's what I set out to do, go out and get one. Well, the good guys are doing 10 or 15 a day. Good for them. It's my first day. I've got one. So then he tells me I've got to go out and get 10 the next day. And I said, no, no, no. Tomorrow I'm going to get 2. Tone, $5,000, hotels, 10. 2. 10. 2. 10. Okay. It looked like 10, but it'll actually be 2. And the day after I'm going to get 4, Tim. 4. And he kept going on at me about this, but, you know, I'm not a fast learner. You know, lots of people aren't. You've got to break things down. And that's literally what happened. 1, 2, 4. My 5th day, I broke the company record. I got 28 on a Saturday morning and ran out of paperwork. I never expected to get that. So the Monday after, and this is all very pertinent to what we're doing here, the Monday after, I was good to go and start a business. Now, when I first got back to Toronto, the guys that ran Montreal and the guys that ran Toronto, who were all actually on my Facebook, when I sat down with them and I said, well, what did you do last week? Well, last week we got 2,300 new clients. Last week we got 2,500 new clients. I said, all right, give me 8 weeks, I'll beat you guys. And they started laughing at me. And for me, that's motivation. I love it. I don't love it, but it gets me fired up. When someone tells me I can't do something, I get really fired up. So that was number 1. I was fired up. Number 2, the guy that was supposed to partner with me, Greenie, and if you're watching, Greenie, yeah, it's you I'm talking about, he went to work for the competition for a salary. So I was all kind of high and dry. So the Monday after, I said to Tim, listen, I'm not building a team here, okay? Number 1, I'm in Toronto. There's far too many bars and restaurants for me. I'll get distracted. I'm here to do business. Put me somewhere I am not going to like. Put me somewhere I'm going to hate. Put me somewhere I don't know anyone. And put me somewhere with no distractions, no friends, so I can focus on what I'm here for. So he drove me down to Hamilton, Ontario, which at the time, I believe it's a lot different now, but at the time was fairly desolate. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it was a rundown steel town. The steel mills had closed. There was no work. There's a lot of pollution there, and this, that, and the other. And a lot of people in wheelchairs and Zimmer frames, and it just didn't look good. A lot of shutters down, real, not great. And I'm driving through this. I'm sat with Tim in the brand new black Porsche. I'm actually sliding. Oops! I'm sliding down the seat because I'm embarrassed if anyone sees me, because I felt like it was flaunting wealth where there wasn't any. We drive up this thing called Hamilton Mountain. We drive onto an industrial park. He pulls the roller shutter door up of this industrial unit, and I think, wow, this city is rough. You've got to park your car up a mountain inside a garage. And it says, Tom, there's your office. And I went, Tim, that's not an office, that's a garage. No, Tom, there's a desk. There's a phone. It's an office. I said, Tim, there's a hole in the floor for changing the oil of cars. It's a garage. He said, no, that's... And Mike and James, you've met Tim, you'll understand this. No, Tom, you don't get it. That's not for changing oil. It's when we sweep all the garbage out, it goes in that hole and we fill it up for concrete. That's what it's there for. And I went, okay. Plug the phone in. 2 days later, I think the phone was live. We put an ad in the paper, the Hamilton Spectator. One thing I know now, I'm talking before about breaking point, know your businesses. So at the time, there was kind of a recession going on there. People were losing their jobs. There's a lot of economic uncertainty. And people will try things outside their comfort zone. If we're starving and we've got to eat, we've got to do different things. So I showed up at this office at 6 o'clock one morning. The phone's already ringing. I answer the phone. It was just a single line phone. Answer it as soon as I put it up. It rings again. Rings again. Rings again. Rings again. Rings again. 19 hours without a break. I ended up pulling the phone wire out the wall to get out of there. I just told them literally nothing on the phone. Yeah, we're hiring. Come on in tomorrow. The next day, there's like 150 people show up. I'm on my own. I've no clue what I'm doing. And I just shouted, has anyone here ever worked as a receptionist before? And this girl called Trish, who's on my Facebook as well. I have. Right, you're hired. I've no idea what receptionists get paid, but it'll be above what they normally get paid. Sit there, answer the phone, and we'll talk about it at the end of the day. What are the hours? Listen, I don't know. We'll figure it out. And Trish worked with me for a long time. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful lady. I'm still friends with her to this day. I don't talk to her very often. Still friends for this day. And we got it going. So my first week in long distance, I made $20 for that very first client I got, just the way the payroll cycle worked. My eighth week, I made $28,739. I'll say that again. On my 8th week, I made $28,739. I know Mike on the call right now. Mike, what was your best week? Tell us all again.
£12,000.
£12,000. That's about 18,000 US dollars. And you were what, 19 or 20 years old when you weren't that?
Yeah, just 19 I was at the time.
19. Okay. So if you'd have gone for that interview and someone said, you know what, Mike, you're 19, you're going to be earning £12,000 a week, you'd have probably turned around and walked out. By the way, Mike, did you always
earning £200-300 at the time?
Yeah, exactly. It's perception. Did you used to beat James every week or just most weeks?
He did it my first week. While he was showing me the ropes.
That's okay. We're going to do it again, James. So what happened is I used to have a block at $1,000 a week. And then I faked more into a job and I was making $2,000 a week. If Tim would have called me and said, listen, Tony, in 8 weeks' time, you're going to make $28,739 a week, I'd have hung the phone up with him and thought he'd gone certifiable. So when I put something up saying 100,000 between now and Christmas, that's my intent. My intent is to have 20, 30, 40 people that are doing that. Because once you master it, once you master this, you will never have to worry again about money for the rest of your life, once you master the skill sets. Now, 100,000 may perceptively seem a lot of money, only if we've never earned it before. It's a block. It's just a number. Just a number. I did a video a few weeks ago walking around a $10 million apartment. And I did a video, and the point of the video is it doesn't matter if the apartment's 100,000 or 100 million. It's still just a number. It's a perception. So when that perception becomes reality, like you said, Mike, you used to earning £200-300 a week, and then months later you're earning £12,000 a week. If someone had told me $28,739 a week, I'd have thought they were insane. I wouldn't have believed it. And, you know, I'm still only in my mid-20s. And what did I do when I started making that money? I went out and bought the same car as Tim, matching black Porsches. There is one story one night where neither of us could get in our car. We had to get a cab home. And then the next day, there may have been some alcohol involved. I mean, it wasn't right, but it was probably right that we got a cab home. The next day, we realized we were trying to get into each other's car with the wrong keys. So, matching cars. So, here's the reality. That is just a number. So, Mike's on the line here. And what I'm doing here is I'm just opening up a little bit. Because I got into this business out of desperation. I'd had a financial hit on my 50th birthday when I was out. I took a financial hit. I got hacked. So literally I was left with virtually nothing. What I did have is skill sets, contacts, and I had a few $100s. But I've been speaking with Darren, who helped me get in the business. And Darren, over 2 years, when I was in another business, someone connected me to him. Over 2 years, Darren has never, ever, 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 to this day, ever tried to pitch me on something, sell me on something. Darren, like myself, creates an inflow of business from Facebook. Literally 100% of my business is through Facebook. It's not the only way to do it. If you're in a community and you've got friends or you've got kids that go to school, or you're a member of a sports team, or just people you know. I wasn't like that. I mean, I'm in New York. I know lots of people, but most of them I just know socially. So what I found is Facebook works for me. There's no right or wrong with this. So all I did was just start posting quality content. But what had happened before this? For 2 years, Darren had called me maybe once every 2 or 3 months, and just to say hello. And that's all I do with people now. I say hello. And I'd been connected to him, to a guy I actually found out years later I went to school with, and we'd met through Facebook. He lives in British Columbia, I'm here in New York. And we met through Facebook, found out 3 years later we went to the same school in Europe. So he connected me to Darren when I got into another business. He said, Darren's the guy, just connect with him. And I'm watching Darren, I'm talking with Darren, and one day I see this post from Darren consistently, how I made $150,000 in 12 months from a couple $100 investment. And I'm seeing this, and it's almost as though it was subliminal. And one day I pick up the phone, I call him, I said, what's this deal you've got? I said, I'm getting out of one deal, and what's this deal? I'm kind of curious. He sent me a video. I went, oh, okay. And I called him back, said, what do I do? He said, just join. I went, okay. And will you help me? Yeah, absolutely, I'll help you. Because it's in my interest to help you. So the same for everyone who's watching this right now. And if you're not on my Facebook, Tony Cohen on Facebook, I'm easy enough to find. I'm usually at the top. And that's what we do, is I will put these events on with you, for you. And right now there's a whole bunch of people watching this. I have no idea who they are, but I suspect they're mainly friends of yours, Mike. I know the link's out there as well. It doesn't really matter, okay? So from this, where do we go? $100,000 between now and Christmas. How is that possible? Well, I'll tell you this right now. There's ladies in our team that have made $1,000 in their first week by having a couple of coffee, I think it was one coffee morning. And that then starts to grow exponentially, like that first week of $20 to $28,739, 8 weeks. It grows exponentially. It doesn't grow level. All of a sudden, it just goes woof and vertical. And it does that by things like this being out there, webinars being out there. While I'm doing this, someone's watching the one I made an hour ago about social media training. I think it's 150 videos I've done in the last month. So it enables me to get the message out there, and literally income streams coming in when I'm not working. So what is the business? The business is self-development. If you're in the US, the business is also a huge saving program. But I'm not going to talk about the business. I want to talk about the perception. $100,000. When we got someone else on here, someone called Dennis. Who's Dennis? Say hello, Dennis. Can you hear me? There's Dennis. Hey man, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good. Join in. You're welcome. So, yeah. Were you watching on the other link, or have you just joined us now?
I was watching also.
Okay, so you know what we're talking about. So right now, what I'm going to do is just going to open this up a little bit. So I started this literally from zero, and my target, and I've only been doing this a couple of months. My intent is $250,000 this year. Will I earn that? Yes. You know why? I've done that before. Okay, so it's not a lot of money. Okay, I was 25 years old, 26. I was earning $2 million a year. So it's not a lot of money. Next year with this business, I'll pull $5 million out of it. Okay, and so will anyone else that works with me if they follow what we do. And the year after, 8 figures. Why? Because that's my reality. That's where I'm at. Now I work with people like that. And as far as fiscally how it's done, at the end of this week, you can, if you've not already seen it, there's a video out there you can watch. Ask me or Mike, who's on here, or Don, and we can go forward with that. So the first thing to get over is $100,000 earnable by Christmas? Yes, absolutely. It started today? Absolutely. I know there's some people on here that already are in business with us. Absolutely. Okay. Can I help you get there? Yes, absolutely. Okay. How do I know? Because I've done it before. That's how I know. Okay. So it's not some pie in the sky, let's try and do this. It's an intent. This is what I'm going to do. I know Mike earning the £12,000, $18,000 a week. Mike's got the belief because he's done it before. If you take someone that's never earned $100,000 before, it's a massive, massive block. But it's just a number. It's nothing. It means nothing. If you told me, if I gave the intent I was going to go on earn $1 billion a year, next year, there'd be a block in there. Because we all have a block. Bill Gates has a block. Everyone has a block. It's something. There's an upper limit. There's always an upper limit. It doesn't matter. It's just a number. I've never earned $1 billion a year. I've never earned $1 billion in my life. So I can't possibly conceive how I'm going to do that next year. However, I can conceive how anyone on this call right now, whether you're watching or on the stream here, any single person on here right now can earn $100,000 between now and Christmas if they get started now. If they get started in a month, well, you know, there's less time. It's going to take a few months. It takes a little while to understand, and to understand this is not about products, services. It's about you. It's about learning to connect. It's about learning how to interact. It's more of a study in human nature than anything else. So, you know, I fully expect people to be at that figure even quicker than that. There's a guy on our team, Jeff, and Jeff's outperformed me. That's not supposed to happen. Why? How's that happened? Okay, I showed him what to do, and he got better than I did at it. And that's wrong. No, it's not. It doesn't matter. You know, in the grand scheme of things, and we've got a little bet going on. Actually, no, I didn't say that on live Google Earth. We haven't got a bet going on at all. Nothing at all, because that would be wrong. So Jeff and I have a contest going on. Okay, and it's a bit of fun. But you know, we were in another business. In his first 2 weeks in this business, working with us, he'd done 16 times what he'd done in the other business in 16 months. So it is a very fast ramp up. And then what we do, like I'm working with Mike now, what we do is I help you work and build a team. So where I'm at right now, literally, me personally, I can only really take about another 6 people. That's it. However, Mike's got room, Don's got room, okay, and we all work together. So that's where I'm at. And if you're connected to these guys, you're connected to me anyway. And then you're connected to Darren, you're connected to Larry, the CEO. So that's where we're at. It's all about personal development. So I'm just going to open this up a little bit. So, Mike, I'm going to ask you first. Okay, I've unburdened on you guys yet again. Mike, I'm going to ask you first. So James is getting ready to run out the room because he knows he's up next. He's doing it well, Mike. James is doing his. Oh no, never mind. So Mike, I'm going to throw this to you. I know it was a transition from you because you're a guy kind of similar to me in terms of skill sets, where we've been trained or learned rather how to sell, and this is anything but. This is the polar opposite. And you know, I when people ask me for links, you know, I've taught them a bit, find out what it is they want, find where they are in their life. Are they in transition? Are they a breaking point? Can there be a fit? I don't know. We never know. You know, I also ask them what sort of money they need to be earning. So we've got guys on our team pulled $7,500 the first month, $11,500 the second month from a couple hundred investment. Six figure. We got people on the team 6-figure annual incomes within sort of 30 to 45 days. So you know what we're talking about here is it's fairly simple, but sometimes it takes a little shift. And I know I'm going to throw this to you, Mike. I'm going to ask you a few questions. I have no idea what any of you guys are going to say. There's no script here. I'm running open. I do this. If you've seen any of my videos, you'll know there's never a script. So sometimes it kind of do go off on tangents. I'm wide open here, and I'm just going to talk with you first of all, Mike. So we're all going to get a chance. Watch everyone start dropping off now. So Mike, you there?
Yeah.
So I know you found a little transition with this from what you'd previously been doing. So tell us about your previous business.
I was in the last business was recycling. I had a recycling equipment company, and my job was, you know, everything, including, you know, bottle washing and cleaner. I used to do everything. Was working 15, 16 hours a day most days, and that become the norm, and that just become part of me. I was working, you know, till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, then back up at 7:30 again every morning.
Been there, done that. I was that Wall Street guy.
And that was me, and I thought that then was normal to run your own business.
How old? I'll stop you there. How old are your children?
5 and 9.
Are you spending more time with your children now?
Now, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm watching your Facebook, and it seems that's all you're doing every day. You're out with the kids, which is great. It's fantastic. So.
And the biggest thing for me, and a few people have said this, is they've noticed the change in me personally.
Oh, I have.
I would.
You seem a lot more relaxed.
And just I enjoy it now. I don't go to work now. I go, what do you do all day? I just mess around with it. I just have a bit of fun.
I'll tell you,
I earn money by doing it.
If you take a picture today and look at one from 2 months ago or whatever it was, a month ago, you actually look younger.
I feel it. I do feel it.
You've got the glow there, and a lot of that is the stress is off. The stress is off. So I'm going to throw this to James, because we've not spoke for years, really, only through Facebook.
Yeah.
We've not really been on a phone. I've certainly not been on a video with you, James. No video whatsoever.
Not for many a year, Tony.
Good to see you again, man. So what have you been doing with yourself? It's been, what, 15 years it must be since I last saw you?
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
At the moment, I'm still employed by Sky.
Okay, yeah, Mike said something.
Yeah.
Is that coming to an end?
That's coming to an end very, very shortly. So, no, the sooner the better for me, actually. But
how old are you now, James?
42. Well, no, 42.
You sure?
No, you're not. You're 41.
You don't seem to know. You don't seem 41 or 42. So this goes back to what we were saying before. It's very often, like Mike and like yourself. How many children do you have, James?
3.
How old are they?
13, 8, and 3.
3.
I've got birthdays coming up. Yeah.
3. So everything still works okay for you. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was surprised as well.
So you've been with Sky some time. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What is it you're actually doing for them, and what have you been doing for them?
Getting door to door, team leader, training new people, just like we did in the good old days.
Good old days. So for those of you,
working
in America,
probably 70 hours a week.
For those people in America, Sky is the equivalent of DirecTV. It's a satellite TV company. So you're out banging on the doors, training people, long hours, traveling, and you can see Mike playing with his kids.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I know what's coming. I'm not even going to say anything. We know, okay? And it's the reality, It's the reality. It's kind of like, people look at my life and think I've got the ideal life. Listen, I still work. I don't just go around walking in the park and hanging out in restaurants and coffee shops. I still work, but it's not work. All I do is connect with people all the time. I just connect. For me personally, I add them on Facebook. They follow me on Facebook, then all of a sudden they say, what is it you do? Because you don't seem to do anything. But you live in one of the world's most expensive cities, and you don't actually appear to have a job. Yeah, that'd be me. Yeah. I make it look very easy, but I still, I'm on 24 hours connecting with people. So a lot of our team, similar sort of age to you two guys, got kids, had jobs, or they feel their job is coming to a wind down, or they're not sure about the future, and all of a sudden they're looking for plan B. Because we go to school till we're 16, 18, or 14 and a half, I think in my case, and then we get a job and we work, and if we do it wrong, we work till we're 65 years old, and then get 10 years to enjoy ourselves maybe. Well, that to me just seems like a waste of a life. I'd rather enjoy myself now. When I'm off this, I'm going for a walk in Central Park. I'm going to take the shirt off. I'm going to put the gym vest back on. I'm going sunbathing in the park. My phone will still be switched on, and I might, return a few calls or catch up. Right here, I'm on here now. I've got 31 messages while I've been on here chatting, so I'll follow up on them. But I literally can do it from anywhere. Whether it's off my phone, it's these hangouts I need to do on a laptop. But that's what I do. And so you're at that transition point. This is what we were talking about before. People are either at breaking point or transition point. That are the ones we can help. How are you doing with Sky though, James? You making some? You doing okay with them financially?
Just bear with me.
Yeah. Don't start showing me your wallet. Where's he gone? Right. All right, we'll come back to you, James. I don't know what you're doing there. It looks like you're... James, can you hear me?
Yeah, me and technology don't work. So.
Oh, that's your self-talk. So,
yeah.
were you doing okay with them financially?
Yeah, financially, yeah.
So that's going to come to an end very shortly.
Yeah, probably the next 6 weeks.
Oh, that quick. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, if there's a fit, which, you know, because I know you, I know there is, or I feel there is, I should say. Because I know you, because, you know, I know in both your cases, both you guys started with us in another business years ago from zero, and both made a success out of it. So I know you know, you've got the learning ability, and it is learning something different. But if you've knocked on doors before, you understand creating rapport.
Yeah.
You know, if you run a team before, you understand creating rapport. So I'm going to go next to Don. Don, you're live. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. So I know you work with us already, and you've not been getting, or you don't feel you've been getting enough mentoring. So I'm just going to quickly ask, what was your career background before you started working with us?
I've actually had quite a few jobs. I was a truck driver, got injured on the job, so I went back to school, and now I actually work in a pharmacy.
You work in a pharmacy? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a drug dealer. Nice.
Legal one this time.
Wait, in Colorado? Let's not go there.
Washington State.
I'm just wondering how many complaints I'm going to get about this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, how old are you, Don?
I'll be 41 on the 5th.
Do you have any children?
I have 4.
How old are they?
I have a 24-year-old. I have a 20-year-old 3 days after my birthday, and I have a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Okay. So you started working with us for what reason? What brought it about? Were you looking for a life change, or was it? I don't know.
It's both. I'm really just at the breaking point, and I need transition. I know that this isn't going to get me where I want to be, and I'm just not making the money that I should be making.
Right. Well, we can change that starting today. Okay. Starting today. So I'm going to go across to Dennis there. Are you there, Dennis?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. What's your connection to us here? Are you a friend of Mike's, or you just seen a link, or?
Yeah, I'm a friend of Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good. What do you do, Dennis?
I'm an energy and environmental consultant, but at the moment I'm working with Vodafone as a contract sales.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm only 35.
35.
Yeah.
Only 35. You made sure you were last because everyone else is older than you. There's got to be people that are younger. Just saying, there's got to be people that are younger than 35 watching this. I'm just throwing it out there. So that basically puts me as the old one. Well, that's okay. Hey, I was out with a good friend of mine the other day. This is funny, you know. I was saying to you there, Mike, how you look relaxed. So I'm out with my buddy the other night, and we're in Harlem, and we both grew up in Manchester, England.
Right.
And we're in Harlem, which is ethnically different from me, and we're in this club, and we're talking to this girl, and my buddy, who's a clothing designer, and he's all done up and all smart. He says asks this girl how old she is, and she says whatever, 30 years old. And she said to him, How old are you? And he said, guess. And she said, ooh, 47? And he went, yes, I'm 50. And I thought, okay, I'm up next here. And I said, well, how old do you think I am? He said, oh, easy, 35. And I went, marry me, you know. Just like I'm 50. I was elated, you know. I don't mind getting asked for ID now. I take it as a compliment. Yeah, I managed to get out of there unmarried though, just saying. And so we're all kind of a similar age here. Guys, have you got children, Dennis, did you say?
Yeah, I've got 3 children.
How old?
3, 5, and 8.
Okay, so young ones. So here's the deal, guys. Okay. Everyone's in a similar situation. Everyone's looking for a plan B. Everyone wants to spend more time with their kids. And we may have something that's a fit for you. So I'm going to wrap this up Does anyone have any questions just while you're on before I wrap it? Mike, any questions?
No, fine, mate.
James, any questions?
No.
No. Don, any questions?
No?
Dennis, any questions?
The only question I've got at this moment now is just a quick understanding of what the business is selling and
Well,
what.
A, we're not selling anything. No selling involved. We're just sharing information. What I suggest you do, get back in touch with Mike. You got his number, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just send Dennis the video. So there's a video there. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there's a video there. And all we do, okay, very, very specifically, all we do is send the video out. So you don't have to know anything, literally nothing, because you don't need to do the video. The video is done by the CEO of the company, and that's all I ever do, is I connect with people, I find out where they're at in their life, which is fairly similar on everyone on the panel there. I find out where they're at in their life, if there's a fit, and there might be a fit, and in your cases there are. If you're at a certain age and you've got children, there's a fit, okay? So all we're going to do is, Mike, you're going to get these videos out to the people on here. If you have any questions, get back in touch with myself, Mike, and if you're not on my Facebook, Tony Cohen, just type it in. I'm usually at the top. And that's about it. So listen, I want to thank you guys so much for partaking. I want to thank everyone that's watching, so I can still see there's a whole bunch of people watching. And I want to thank anyone who watches the rerun of the video on this. And if you need to reach me, guys, Skype, The Real Tony Cohen. Facebook, Tony Cohen. I'm always on the top. My phone number is on somewhere on Facebook on my thing. So you listen, pick up the phone and call me. But if Mike's invited you, speak with Mike first. And if you guys need Mike, if you need any help with anything, just let me know. So guys, I'm checking out The Real Tony Cohen here in New York City. See you all later, man.
Cheers, Tony.
Okay.
See you later, Tony.
Cheers.